Hello and welcome to Monster Mechanics, where we take creatures of myth and media and see how they can be improved. I am your host, Scott Paladin, and with me as always is the Athos to my Porthos, Zach Jaquays.
Hey, how's it going?
And with us as never before, the Taronga Leela to our Athos and Porthos, Alice Kira.
Hi, how's it going?
And today we're going to be talking about what's the best Cerberus. So I don't think we need a huge number of ground rules as to define what we mean by a Cerberus, but we're talking about what animal, if you added 2 additional heads to bring us up to a total of 3, would be fun and cool, in reference to the 3-headed dog that guarded Hades in Greek myth. So the big thing is you have to end up with 3 heads. So we're not adding an infinite number of heads. But as Zach and I were talking a little bit before, I guess we're not going to define you as where you have to put them. So if you have an interesting arrangement of heads, that will be totally cool too. Zach, why don't you start us off with maybe a fun one that you had in mind?
So just to be clear, we're not going with the interpretation of Cerberus that's also covered in snakes, right?
No, he does not have the mane of snake. We're not adding manes of snakes to things. I mean, in a future episode, sure, but not today.
All right.
Okay.
So my idea for an animal was the box turtle, because I kind of just love the idea of like 3 little heads just like poking out one at a time. Yeah,
that'd be fun. Would that? I guess it would have to be in addition to its legs. So it's got a more like an 8-hold arrangement instead of the usual 6-hold arrangement. So it's like kind of a like an octagon, I guess, octagonal. Do you think they all come out at the front there, Zach, or maybe in the sides? Or
I was thinking the front, just because that seems like I'm just picturing 3 turtle heads all fighting over a strawberry, and it pleases me.
That is very cute.
What if they, flashing back to the old cartoons where they would always open up the turtle shell and there'd be an engine inside? And I'm thinking like the little plates on the turtle shell popping open and heads popping out like little trapdoors.
Oh, kind of like a tiered kind of 3-headed turtle?
Or maybe they could come out in different places depending on where it needs them.
Now I'm picturing like 3 tortoise shells stacked on top of each other and just like...
Well, then we have the inevitable, it's tortoises all the way down.
Oh, yeah. Pulling some extra mythology there.
Yeah.
We'll just name them Yertle. It'll be fine.
Alice, what was on your mind for this idea?
I actually thought about this a lot, and I think what I've settled on is a swan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you have the extra heads, and they have a lot of flexibility in their neck, so they can really move around and not get in each other's way, except when they get each other's way, and then they're like snapping and pecking at each other.
Hang on, I have to untangle my swan Cerberus.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, swans can do a terrible amount of like damage. Those beaks are nasty. And like goose, they have teeth on their tongues, which is awful.
That's unnecessary, honestly.
Yeah, the ugly duckling story, I think, is actually more of one of transforming into a monster, because ducks are adorable and swans are horrible, hideous monsters. So that brings that whole story into a new context.
It's just a quiet day in a peaceful mythological village, and you are a horrible 3-headed swan.
Just imagine like you like come upon a lake and there's the swan upturned. It's obviously like fishing down below, and suddenly it pops up and all 3 heads just rear up out of the water.
Yeah,
I'd run away so fast.
Just the one head can go down at a time, and the other 2 can keep lookout.
Oh, that's so gross. Horrifying. Well,
So what did you have in mind, Scott?
The original idea I realize it doesn't work with only 3 heads, but it's the fractal giraffe, where
Okay.
And it's a strange arrangement. It's the giraffe that has a regular head, neck up to the head, and then where its little horny things, which for the record are called ossicones, are, instead of those, it's got 2 little giraffe heads. And in each of those their ossicones have 2 little giraffe heads. Which is too good. I know I'm breaking the rules because it's got more than 4, but that's so fun. So I had to mention it. But as I thought about that, what I eventually landed on was a chameleon. And I don't care where the 3 heads are, but the fact that it could like fire its tongue in like 3 directions at once just strikes me as super cool looking.
Okay.
Now I'm just picturing the chameleon just Spider-Manning around the room. It's 3 tongues.
Excellent.
chameleons are also the ones that can shoot their blood out of their eyes.
Oh, no, those are horned toads. Horned lizards,
okay.
yeah. Horny toads or horned lizards.
That's also an amazing image.
But 6 eyes to shoot blood out of.
In that case, I think, on a complete tangent, just giving one of those more eyes, not more heads, but more eyes, popping them out in sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
It just looks like one of those lawn sprinklers.
Oh, God. Well, we got to the body horror.
Yep. It didn't take us but 8 minutes.
So I had an idea for another one. And
Oh, yeah, fire away.
mostly just to play on a gimmick is of a monkey, where you can do the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, all at once on one animal.
Yeah, with the monkey, especially if we're not keeping the same arrangement, for some reason I have like in my head and the image of the monkey, and it's got the normal head, and then it's got like a face in its chest and another one in its belly. That's horrifying. There's a free monster idea for you.
Okay. It's like a Gurren Lagann situation.
Well, I have one little fun tidbit, which is while I was looking up Cerberus or Cerberus in the past, I realized that his dad was a 2-headed dog, which implies that if Cerberus has a kid, it's going to have 4 heads.
Oh,
He's got
that's fun.
Isn't he also like the brother of the Hydra and a few other 3-headed animals?
Is that?
I did a brief wiki search before.
That doesn't strike any memory for me. The only thing the weird sibling situation that I can remember with Greek myth is that the Pegasus has a sibling that we know almost nothing about, but is often depicted as like a winged boar, if I remember correctly. It's just like named as having also come out of the same situation that created I think the Pegasus sprung from Medusa's neck when the head was cut off.
Interesting.
And then also this other thing came out, and they hardly ever describe it. It's just like, oh yeah, that guy. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's fascinating.
I do feel like a wing boar would be a much more interesting mount for all those MMOs and whatnot that crib off of the Pegasus.
Oh yeah. Although frankly, as scary as wild boar are, I don't want them to have wings. Thank you.
Oh god.
Those do.
They breed so fast.
Yeah, they breed. You have to kill 90% of them a year in order to them maintain the population. Otherwise, they're gonna be.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they're omnivorous, which means they'll eat small animals and stuff, anything they can catch. And oh man, if I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole once where I found a company that put up all of their like promotional material for killing wild boar for population control, and I don't know why. It's fascinating. But they're like,
Interesting.
yeah, they're smart too. But they're mean, so I don't have any problem eating them. A pig would eat you. That's why you shouldn't feel bad about eating bacon. Well, I think that is those are some really good options for different Cerberuses. I would love to hear from our audience as well. If you guys have any ideas, hit us on our Twitter account, which is @MonsterMPod. And if you want to catch Alice anywhere else on the internet, Alice, go ahead and tell us where we can find you.
Sure. You can find me on Twitter @MagicalGirlKira. You can also find me on podcasts, mostly on Unlabeled AP, which is a Masks actual play, and Outstanding, which is another Masks actual play, which is part of the Protean City Comics line, which I'm also part of outside of Outstanding.
Yeah, if I recall, you're on a quest to be on every Masks AP in existence, right?
I'm trying for it.
Well, best of luck to you there.
Thanks. I'm doing pretty well so far.
Seems like you got most of your bases covered, yeah.
Well, on that note, catch us again next week. It will be our episode on brownies.
All right.
Ooh,
Alice, it was a pleasure meeting you.
It was fun meeting you too. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this Monster Mechanics mini episode. Instead of the normal call to action, I'm going to ask you guys to go check out the Unlabeled AP, or to go check out a couple of episodes of Outstanding, where you can find both myself and Alice doing tween superhero shenanigans. Now for the credits. Monster Mechanics is produced and edited by me, Scott Paladin, and hosted by myself and my best friend, Zach Jaquays. Our special guest this week was Alice Kira. All of the ideas generated during this podcast are released under a Do What the F You Want public license.